Hey guys, I'm back, and today I'm going to be showing off what was revealed at New York Toy Fair over the weekend, and basically giving my thoughts on it. Before we do that though, there are some things I missed once again before Toy Fair because I was too lazy to make a video, and was also waiting for Toy Fair. Mattel released an announcement on the 10th, February 10th, basically going over the new track system, how it's easier to put together and how it derail trucks. And also, a new game was revealed called Wonders of Sodor. It's an open world Thomas game with optional story retellings, which is really nice. I'm glad we finally got it because I've been wanting a game like this for so long. Also, we got revealed the Small Hero Thomas and Percy, which are actually revealed to be called Story Talkers, as well as Thomas and SC Ruffy for the motorized range. The Hero Thomas and Percy look amazing because they're extremely accurate, and they were the first toys we've gotten revealed to have the gray footplates. And unlike the 80th toys, the gray footplates actually go all the way around the engine. Also, they have front cab windows on Thomas and Percy actually has the separately molded dome and whistle. Something important to note though is that these are not compatible with any of the toy lines that have been revealed yet, so the motorized or push-along, and it seems that these are going to be their own separate little things. As for Scruffy, he looks nice. It seems that they went for him missing a tooth instead of having one singular tooth, and his lettering is on a separate plank on his side. He also seems to have blue eyes matching Thomas as opposed to, orange eyes, or I guess brown eyes, which I feel would match him more, seeing that he's rusty and, Scruffy, Yeah, he looks nice. We also got the assortments revealed, with a small assortment 1 having Thomas, Percy, Diesel, Rosie, the Troublesome Truck, Toby, and Harold. Assortment 2 having Thomas, Percy, Whiff, Salty, Mavis, Flynn, Scruffy, Charlie, and a Thomas variant. And assortment 3 having Thomas, Percy, Rosie, Bruno, Bill, Duck, Rheneas, the Troublesome Tanker, the Thomas variant, as well as the Percy variant. The larger engine assortments are going to include Henry, James, Gordon, Thomas and Annie, Oliver and Toad, Hero, Nia, Percy and Clarabelle, Toby and Henrietta, Emily, Thomas and Birdie, and Diesel and the Troublesome Truck. This is great because it basically seems to confirm everything we already had from the leaks that were from January. We also got the motorized assortment, basically confirming everything we already have, being the Thomas and the Blue Truck, Percy and the Mail Wagon, James, Gordon, Nia, Thomas and Scruffy, Diesel, Troublesome Truck, Rosie and Troublesome Truck, and Emily. We also got the Tidmouth Shed set, the Cranky at the Dock set, the Push Along Bells Station set, and the Track Pat set, as well as the Hero Thomas, Percy, and the Large Thomas. I will get to the Large Thomas because that was actually the most recent thing revealed, but before we get to him, let's talk about the Toy Fair, because quite a bit was revealed. Now at the start of Toy Fair, we only got this blurry image of the engines, but as Toy Fair progressed, we got more and more photos, and it seemed that Mattel was more lenient with who took photos of the Diecast engines, not the motorized engines. The motorized engines were in an area where people couldn't take photos apparently. But let's start off with the biggest change, and the first change we saw. Flynn, who actually looks more like a fire truck instead of whatever he was before. This is strange to me, but honestly it's the logical decision. If you're gonna reboot your franchise, it would make sense. Your franchise about talking trains, it would make sense that you would want the engines to actually at least look like trains and the road vehicles to look like they're road vehicles instead of whatever this is. So yeah. After that, we also got a look at some of the engine prototypes, which you can see Diesel has smaller wheels, the Thomas has no rivets, one of the Thomases also has thicker printing, and Rosie has extra detail, which is why these are considered prototypes. We also got to look at the Tidmouth shed set, which is nothing new, and we got to look at Gordon's packaging, which, yeah, that's Gordon, alright, yep. We also got an in-person look at Thomas's packaging, which we've already seen, so I'm not gonna go too into detail with that. After that, we got a closer look at Gordon's package and a look at Nia's package, who honestly doesn't look that bad. She at least for her diecast toy, at least, she's probably the best toy of Nia we've gotten at all. She's nice and long, she has her accurate wheel arrangement, she comes with the stupid All Engines Go Mine card that Mattel can't seem to get rid of for some reason, and yeah, she just looks nearly perfect. Something I'm not really a fan of is how her lamp is molded into her face, but aside from that, she looks really nice. After that, we got to look at the Tidmouth Sheds box, the Exploring Tidmouth Sheds set box, and I like it. I like how it actually shows the sheds, the entire set, on a background similar to Old Wooden Railway, as opposed to just showing the set on a blank background or something. And I love how the sunset kind of gives me, once again, early Wooden Railway vibes of how the boxes used to have hand-painted paintings in the background. The last thing we got revealed, aside from some clothes, was the entire diecast assortments 1 and 2. So of course we got the engines we've already have 3D models of: James, Gordon, Henry, Thomas, Toby, Rosie, Harold, all of them. We also got, going from top to the bottom, Nia, who we just talked about, Hero, who looks amazing and finally has his accurate wheel arrangement, Flynn, who once again we already talked about, Thomas variant, who seems to be some kind of royal themed Thomas based on the crown on his side, Whiff, who actually looks pretty nice. I'll get into his face later, but he has the accurate wheel arrangement and I like how he just looks overall. I like how he's proportioned. I just don't like how small he is. I would have preferred if he was a bit longer and had a slightly bigger wheel for a second one. Mavis, who looks nice, at least compared to Toby. She's obviously the better engine compared to the two. Out of the two, she's the better engine out of the two, the better looking engine. Charlie, who looks nice. My only complaint is that his buffer beam isn't red, and his face, well, I'm gonna have to say her face now because, yep, it seems that Charlie is now a girl. Yeah, anyway, aside from that, she looks amazing, and I'm probably just gonna swap her face out for my old Take and Play Charlie face. Yeah. We also got Diecast Scruffy, who is just the motorized Scruffy, just smaller, and Diecast Salty, who is Diecast Salty. He looks nice, and yeah, that's it. Something that's important to note, that on every character except Scruffy, as much English lettering is removed as possible. Mavis's name is replaced with a number, D0234. Charlie's name is replaced with the NWR on his nameplate, or her nameplate. Salty's name was just removed. And Hero's name was replaced with 51, as well as Nia already, losing her name like she did in All Engines Go. I think this is a good change to make, since, they're very minor details, and yeah, they're not that hard to change. Maybe except for Charlie and Hero's nameplates having NWR and 51 on them, respectively, but yeah. Aside from that, these honestly look really nice. And the only thing I'm really bummed out about is the couplings being magnets again, because, well, if you saw my collection video, I have easily over 100 metal collection engines, and I don't want to have to either convert a whole bunch of these to those or those to these. Anyway, after that was revealed, we got one last reveal, that being the large Hero Thomas, now being known as the large Whistling Thomas. And oh my goodness, it's the perfect toy ever. It's the most perfect Thomas ever. It has moving side rods, it's giant, has spoked wheels, has quartered wheels, has a painted lamp, has painted, well, it's not painted, but a gray footplate that they actually did extremely smartly. They did it like Departing Now and made it a separate piece of plastic instead of painting it. Painted buffers, a painted whistle, which I actually think is separately molded now that I look at it. Front cab windows, an actually thin cab roof, and a cab interior. I love this so much. This is so peak. And I'm probably going to get it to use it as a close-up model. My only complaint is that the frames in the front are too thick, and of course the space between the side tanks and the wheel splasher aren't painted. But those haven't been painted on any toys. If Bachmann can get away with selling their Thomas for $100, $120 without painting that, Mattel can get away with selling a $30 large Thomas without painting that. So yeah. Anyway, aside from that, that seems to be it. I'm getting more and more used to these new engine designs with every day. So, that's nice, and I'm excited to finally see these and be able to get them and replace my relatively inaccurate diecast engines I already own. So yeah. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I think that's it, so I'll see you next time.